Hey, what's up, guys? Tim Uchuk here. Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to hop on before the end of a day, and I wanted to talk about this transformation here from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and specifically, if you can relate, if you're still closer to this end of the spectrum where you are, this is a picture of everything having to go through the business owner. So if you're stuck wearing most of the hats, if not all, still playing Chief Everything Officer on a day-to-day basis where most of those questions, most of those fires, most of those challenges are still having to go through you, I want to talk about not just the transformation from what I call operator to owner, where you have a decentralized business system structure where 80-90% of the things do not have to go through you. In other words, you have a business and a team that's able to thrive whether or not you're in the office. In this video in particular, I want to talk about the very first stage and the first problem that typically needs to be solved if you can relate to this dude on the left-hand side here. And we're talking about the growth ceiling. You've probably heard of this, where you reach that threshold, transactions and clients, where what got you here isn't going to be the same strategy that's going to get you to phase 2 of growth within your business. Now, this could be the $1 million mark, $2, $3 million, where things start to, you're kind of outgrowing the old way of doing things, right? Tribal knowledge isn't working. Your team is maxed out and they are over capacity. So we've got to fundamentally shift some things. Now, specifically in this video, I'm not going to go through all of the things that need to be solved and all of the problems. In this video, I just want to talk about the most common mistakes that most business owners make, and the same mistakes that I made when I was stuck bumping my head against this growth ceiling within the context of my service businesses. And this is what kept me stuck here for years. And let's go through them right now. I just want to know if you can relate to mistake number 1, which most business owners make, which is trying to just do more of the same and throw more hours at the problem in order to get to this next phase of growth in your business. And what happens, of course, we've got Groundhog Day here with good old Bill Murray. Throwing more hours of it is just going to amplify doing more of the same. It's going to amplify the overwhelm. It's going to amplify the meetings. It's going to amplify the fires. And so this is the most common mistake, where we just keep doing more of the same stuff. But of course, that's a definition of insanity, right? Doing more of the same and expecting different results. Mistake number 2 that most business owners make here is putting all of their faith, and I did the same thing, shiny object syndrome, thinking that the latest flavor of the month tool or application or technology is going to fix things. So this is where you sign up for a productivity app or a project management app, and you think that it should fix these problems and allow you guys to safely make the voyage from phase 1 to phase 2, but things are still complicated and you're still dealing with the same challenges that you were before. So trial and error experimentation, the latest flavor of the month strategy, thinking that that's going to solve it. Another common mistake that most business owners make. Number 3, too many $10 tasks and not enough delegations in place. So we're trying to, again, spending more time, but we're not spending more time on the right things. We're spending more time spinning our tires on the $10 tasks. So we add 10, 20 hours per week. We're not making it home for dinner. We're working over the weekends, but the type of stuff we're working on isn't moving the needle. Or maybe we're working on some of the right things, but we're spread so thin that we're going a mile wide and an inch deep. And as a result, a month down the road, this is what it looks like. Again, we're on the hamster wheel, mistaking motion with progress. Next, again, I hinted at this. This is too many half-built bridges. So it feels good to start things. I don't know if you can see here my screen. Mistaking motion with progress. So a rocking horse, right? Where we keep starting things, but we're not closing loops, either because we're maxed out or because we don't like closing loops just due to some bad habits, and we don't have a team to help us have countermeasures in place for those bad habits. And so we keep having to put all this time into these bridges that the cars can't cross. So even if something's 80, 90% completed, a task or a project, you got nothing to show for it until the cars can cross the bridge. So these are the most common mistakes that most business owners make when they first start to feel that they're bumping their head against the growth ceiling. And the solution to this that helped me to fix this was very simple. This is when I learned about not the latest flavor of the month tool, but learning about the actual principles behind productivity. So in other words, how to manage my time, how to manage my tasks, how to actually delegate. So we're not talking just about tools, but what are the methods that will allow me to focus on the right things and get my team focused on the things that they need to focus on, so that I can get my head above water in order to solve the next problem stage 2. So that's a high-level overview of the first problem, and I'm going to give you, let's just spend a minute here on the next problem this is going to create for you once you solve the growth ceiling problem, which is wearing too many hats because you don't have the team hired. So this is getting the right people, right seats, doing the right things at the right time. So that is getting your key hires in place. That's the second problem that we're going to need to solve if we want to make this transformation happen. But you're going to have a new problem once you get people hired, and that is not having a system to actually do the managing for you. So in other words, if you don't have a system to run your day-to-day, it's going to be you micromanaging your team, pulling all the levers, right, in order to make the most of the team that you have. And so number 3 problem is actually having a system in place to help you run the day-to-day that isn't you, so that you can make coming into the office optional. So this picture here shows somebody who's not in the office, and they're concerned because they're hoping and praying, which isn't a strategy, that things are going to be running smoothly. And then stage 4, just to touch on it, is the inability to scale with confidence, because now that we have the right people in the right seats, we have the daily operational system, we don't have a mechanism or method to run things at scale. So in other words, we solve this first issue, we start to grow, but things start to slow down because we have things like tribal knowledge. Your processes, in other words, are still trapped in the heads of your team. Now, if you are interested in going a little bit deeper on this stuff, and you're interested, more importantly, on making the shift from operator, so going from a centralized business structure, everything going through you, to having a system in place which is decentralized so that you can actually step away out of the day-to-day operations without things falling apart, then you should see a link somewhere around this video to hop on a free call with us, for either myself or a member of my team, where we can actually show you the roadmap and the systems required in order to move through each of these 4 stages to make this transformation real, right? To make the shift from operator to owner. So hopefully that is useful either way. I just want to share that first problem that most business owners, the mistakes that they make when they first start to bump their heads against that growth ceiling. Hopefully that's useful, guys, and I look forward to seeing you otherwise in the next video. Cheers.